Hello everybody and welcome to my screen, my Switch screen. I've made a new thing called Link, Links page. So we'll be playing in the Link folder just so then I can kind of experience the game on my own save file as well as have a save file for you guys and for this game. Because I also think that this game has a ridiculously cool little loading screen. Nintendo presents The Legend of Zelda Micro Penis Tears of the Kingdom. This reminds me of Monty Python a bit, where it's like something like that. But I really like this, the start of this game, because welcome to the game. Literally, it just immediately goes into that E3 cutscene. That we saw like 4 years ago.
This strange gloom keeps getting thicker.
Damn, it's not the only thing that's getting thicker. My excitement for this game. I've played a bit of it. I have played the tutorial, and I really like this game.
For a while now. These tunnels are deeper than I thought. What could be down here?
I like how they're kind of not following the lip sync, but they're also kind of following the lip sync a bit. Yeah, basically immediately you can start playing the game. And also you have full hearts. Which is also very cool. I'm currently dying a little bit. So
Falling ill after coming into contact with the gloom drifting through these caverns.
yeah, coronavirus, we know, we get it.
Here it seems almost misty and not concentrated enough to harm us. We'll keep going. With it coming up from beneath Hyrule Castle.
I think there should have been like a however. We'll keep going, however, the fact that it's doing this.
So we need to be ready for anything. But I know I'll be okay with you. Link.
Get smaller eyes, please. Also, the cell shading is really not helping right now. She literally looks like Voldemort. Like, she literally looks like she has no, like, actual nose. It's just the nostrils. Like, it does not look that good. Also, I find it funny how we're meant to be playing a character who just finished Breath of the Wild, but our stamina meter and our health is maxed, which I don't think you can actually do. But yeah, we're going to try to speed through a bit of this. I presume there's a lot of people who, I did a vote, I did a poll, and at the time of recording this, basically one person was like, yes, one person was like, no. But I talked to my friend, and my friend was like, well, it's a really good game, and if you're going to be playing it anyway, you may as well, like, do it for... Well, in my head, I was thinking I may as well do it, but he was like, if you're really, really going to enjoy it, like, maybe you'll get a good break on this. And it kind of reminded me that, when Resident Evil 8 came out, Village, I recorded an entire challenge run as my first playthrough, pistol only, and I was going to release it, like, when Markiplier still only had the second episode up. I was going to have that entire, challenge run up, but I never knew how to do a challenge run video, so I just didn't do it. And ever since then, I felt like really dumb because of it. At this point, I think that's like 2 years ago now, though. So there's that to it. But yeah, because there's like the speed run of Resident Evil 8 on my channel, which is not a speed run as much as it's just a, just anything else. Fun fact: I swear I only killed 2 bats when I did this the first time. Zelda. Even if we didn't have the Master Sword, we could very easily beat 3 bats, or keys. I do like her outfit though, it's very cool.
Look at these murals.
I like how there's this one guy right next to what looks to be Ganon, with his finger up, just like, fuck you, Ganon!
The written histories of the royal family.
How can you read that?
Stories of a great war fought long ago. It was a conflict between allied tribes and someone only ever referred to as the Demon King.
Yeah. The Demon King.
Is it possible? Do these murals depict the same legend?
I don't remember because I haven't played Breath of the Wild in a long time. But do they refer to Ganon even in his feral form as Ganon? Or is it just known as like the Blights and, you know, like Wind Blight? It's not known as like Wind Blight Ganon. It's like it's just known as Wind Blight to the people of this world in this continuity. That's the question I have. Also, the thing that's so funny to me about this game is previously they're like, oh, the Zonai, that was a thing, and then in this game it's just like Zonai, 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 Zonai. There's a little bit of text on that one. Me on my hot date with a Zonai. That's what it has written there.
Then the gods mentioned were the Zonai.
Yeah, it's a Zonai. Oh, is this too loud? Maybe this is... Yeah, it's too loud. It needs to be on 20. Because otherwise sometimes it picks up on the mic a bit. And it doesn't ruin, but it just makes it echoey sounding.
He seems to be stealing something of incredible power from the young kingdom.
Yeah.
This all aligns with what I've read during my studies. Oh. And then this. It shows the Demon King.
I know that we're meant to be like, oh my god, we're learning so much lore. Anytime it's like exposition like this, I always hate it. I liked the way that Breath of the Wild did it, where, like obviously the Zonai weren't a thing that was front and center in the previous game. So the Zonai were kind of like, it would be hard to be like, oh yeah, you know, the Zonai, you know, the thing we've never said. However, it is really funny to me still that, it's still really funny to me though, because like in Breath of the Wild, you just wake up and then it's like, oh, there's an old man here, and oh, this is cool. I'm like, kind of learning about shit, and there's all this other stuff happening, but you never explicitly are like, oh shit, like this is a bad situation.
I'm glad I didn't leave it behind.
Also, I really like that you point and click. I really wish that like an advertisement went on the screen that was like, you can buy one from $9.95 from the Nintendo shop.
Just what is this?
I like how we could easily break that with bombs, but apparently we don't no longer have the ability to use our Breath of the Wild abilities. We only have like our Master Sword. I guess when we gave the Sheikah Slate back, she uninstalled all of the cool video games we have, and now we're just like, Zelda, do you have any mobile game? Do you have any games on your phone? And then Zelda's just like, you can talk, and then we're just like, here, and it's just like, no, you're cute though. This is the coolest thing to me personally. While we can, I'm actually going to aim with motion controls. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to turn the HUD mode to Pro, just so I can have this as a thumbnail opportunity, because it is one of the best looking thumbnail things in the game, for episode 1 at least. What is this place? Let's continue, Link, but we must be extremely careful. Not yet. Alright. That green light in the distance, I'm having the strangest sensation. This is also ominous. Shall we make the biggest scientific discovery ever? No. Why are you pulling out your Sheikah Slate? Why are you posting this on why are you posting this on Kisa? Like Twitter, but like Keys? I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know what it is, except for I know exactly what it is. We all know what it is. This is actually a really sick cutscene. I'm actually going to stay quiet for this, because this is actually really cool.
against my power cannot save you from me. Zelda. You who carries that fragile sword. A link. Raru placed his faith in you. And that was all you could do.
How do you know our names?
Holy shit, was that the Kamehameha? I did want to wait until that part of the thing was done. But yeah, it's so cool. I actually really like it, and the voice actually works in my opinion. Like the voice isn't like annoying or anything. No, which is really cool. But all of this is like stuff that we've seen kind of from like the trailers and all of that. It is really annoying that I feel like they could have done a really cool idea with showing the combat a bit better. Like have you actually kind of face something off a little bit. Like you battle something. Like you have a little fight with him maybe, where it like teaches you, oh, this is how like the Master Sword works before. But Jesus, we've been apparently using one of our hands a bit too much. Bye, Zelda. So have any of you seen Fullmetal Alchemist? Because this thing is going to be very similar to that. I feel like the music in this game is... Like, I hope they did overworld music more. I couldn't tell when I played, but I really hope that, you know, maybe even when you get into towns and stuff, and like, other stuff like that, I really do hope that they add music and stuff like that, because it would be really lame otherwise. Okay, loading screen. The wispy little words. This is a really cool thing though. I remember when we saw the hand, we were like, holy crap, is it like Sheikah technology or something? Like Link loses a hand and now he has to, like, cause that's really cool and all of that stuff. But yeah. It's weird that it's not Sheikah, but it makes sense at the same time. Also, our hair, it really does feel like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood when like just with the really long hair. Like it feels like a few days have passed or something. Also, we're naked for some reason. See, our dick is so big that we need to keep, like, you know, sewing the pants back together to contain it.
Your wounds were severe. I am relieved to see you escape death.
Man, that long hair, though. I know a lot of people in a certain community are going to be like, yes! Femboy Link! Because the only two things that happened from Breath of the Wild were people playing it and enjoying it, and people making Femboy Link. One thing that sucks is I really wanted to, when I first picked this up, I was like, that's sick. Can you do like a Master Sword only run? And you can't. But it's so weird to see it so disheveled. Decayed Master Sword. The sword that seals the darkness. Its sacred power has been diminished after being ravaged by the gloom beneath Hyrule Castle. So that weird thing that we called, what was it called again? It was called something. That's just like, oh, this is like a more severe version of Malice. That's what we called it, Malice. But in this game, it's just called something else. Man, so much shit to everything here. like, 'cause I know that a lot of people played Elden Ring and I haven't. But when I first like did the little hour of gameplay, like I think it's more like 2 hours. You're here for like 2 hours. But when I first did it, I literally thought that like I was gonna be like there was gonna be like 50 things you could miss, and I was like so scared. But I think you'll all really enjoy this game, and because of the pro mode, basically literally making it so that if you're at full health, there's nothing on the screen at all. I think that's gonna really help make this make a lot of really great thumbnails. And it also means that because almost every single cutscene, except for like the super big ones, are all in engine. And because they're all in engine, it means that when you're playing the pro mode, you really do feel like there's like perfect immersion to this game. But this really does remind me of Breath of the Wild. Obviously there's way more shit to this than there was originally. But just the fact that you wake up basically naked somewhere and you're just sitting there and you're just like, "Huh, I wonder what things we'll do in this world." And then someone's like, "Oh, you're finally awake." I think it's more meant to just be a reference to Zelda 1. Or maybe Skyrim, who knows. Yay. We now have 1 armor because we put cloth over our underwear. That's how armor works. But are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the best moment of this game? Look at it. Look at the beauty of this world. And they really know how to do their fade into title screen type thing. It's so beautiful, it's amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do this 3 times a week. 1 hour videos 3 times a week. Of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And then we'll do 4 episodes of the story. Basically, the War Room is gonna be only 2 War Room videos, which I think is better, honestly. 3 was a bit weird. But, let's continue. Wait, I want to take a photo. Wait. But, yeah. This game is very polished. There has been some moments where it seems to have dropped to 45 frames. Or whatever frameage it's on, like 1/3 of the 2/3 of the frames. But you can't really, like, it's really ambitious in a way that it has like a sky area and a land area. Like, I don't think there's been that many games that have tried something like that before. So it's definitely a bit more thought-provoking than some other games, at least. No. It's a broom! Is it a Roomba? Is it a Pokemon? Yeah, it looks more like a Pokemon. They look really cute, though. They remind me of the things in Legend of Zelda Ages. Yeah, they remind me of the things from Zelda Ages. Link, I have waited for you. Princess Zelda left something for you in my care. It's the Sheikah tablet with the new Pura pad. Okay, yeah, the Pura pad. So did the Sheikah tablet just go extinct or something? Did they have to break it so then they could re-engineer it into this? I do really like that it is the Switch, though. Like, I know it was that originally, but like, I like how it's kind of like the Switch Lite. That it makes it's a little funny. It's just one of those nods. Again. So the records that indicate Zelda's waiting on the mapped location of the map. Okay. This is the Garden of Time. They look like a Bronzon. A bit. That's not the Temple of Time I'm aware of. But no more. It's a lonely place. Just like us. We're a lonely race. We keep to ourselves and we clean stuff. Tap. I think the reason why you don't get a shirt for a little bit is that they really want it to sink in that you do not have, like, your arm has basically been completely replaced by this arm. Because, like, it is pretty daunting to look at that. But, like, I really wish that Master Sword had no durability. I think the Master Sword having durability is kind of dumb. And although in Breath of the Wild it does have that, oh, but then the game would be super easy. In this game they actually have a balance for it that works kind of well. Hello, you seem to be new here. Do you intend to use that thing as a weapon on soldier constructs? Soldier constructs are those who need to protect the land. The Zonai who created us directed them to eliminate trespassers. They consider you a trespasser. You must treat them as a serious threat. Make sure to not run into them haphazardly. They really like beating the crap out of people. Their protocol is kill. That's so cute. I must protect myself. No, please. I'm just a poor little steward. I don't have any good drops. Don't kill me. And Link about to fucking jump in the sky. Also, look at dragon. Jump. There we go. Gimme. Gimme. Yeah, we got the frog. I think this game does a really good job of having a good opening hour. Or opening section to it. But I will say there's also kind of a weird thing to it where it's also like it's really fun and it's really good, but it really doesn't feel like the rest of the game, if you understand. Link, what are you doing? Okay. Oh, well, we're running away. But, yeah, I do want to kind of get into, the newer stuff. And I think that is really, like, a big pain, for you guys in a way, is that I'm not doing this completely blind. Because if it was, like, 100% blind, then there would be that little bit of, like, holy crap, what's going on? But you'll see that very shortly after. But I think it's good for you guys to see me kind of blitz through the game a bit, just so then you can like, be like, okay, cool, this is a tutorial, I'm treating it like a tutorial, I know how to beat the tutorial. Because otherwise there would be a lot of time where I'm simply just like, where do I put this? What do I do with this? How does this work? And boy howdy, I tell you now, there would be a lot of that. And even though I do know what I'm meant to do, I do know what I am meant to be doing, I still am a little lost. Because obviously, it's hard to remember 3 hours ago. Like, what if you like... They really do remind me of like Twilight Princess characters. I'm not Twilight Princess, yeah. That's why I was really excited to do a Master Sword only run, because it would actually be really interesting. There's also no dodging, which is really weird to me. Like there's no dodging and there's no, yeah, it's weird in general. It feels like there's a lot of mechanics that are just gone for no reason in this game. Yeah. It's good though. It's a very good game, and I think they really they looked at Breath of the Wild and they really said, how do we make this way better? And then they made this game. which is really cool. Like it's a really nice thing to see them really look at the game and say, okay, how do we really improve this as a game? What are the things that people want to see improved? What are the things that people want to see changed? What are the things that really worked? Okay, like the cooking system. Oh, that really worked. But yeah, like it's stuff like that where it's like, okay, this makes sense, you know, whatever. And yeah. So the cooking system basically works exactly the same. I'm not sure if you originally only had 5 or if you could do 6, but either or. But yeah, I think it's really well done, basically. There's not much to really say about it. It's very simple. But yeah, the fact that the dodge is gone is really freaking weird to me. Because it felt like that was like a really big part of the game. And the other thing I'll also say is this game feels a little bit less linear, at least for the opening hours. There were way less like, oh, you can go to this area and then do this thing. It's a lot more cut and dry. Like, there is meant to be kind of like a specific order you go in. But currently I'm really enjoying just walking around here because this looks so pretty. I didn't do this originally. So it feels really nice to just bask in like the beauty of the world that you're in. Even if it's just for a bit. But yeah, when you load in a bunch of other areas, that's when you can kind of feel the game having a few issues. I think we won't go that far though. Because I really do want to try to get the opening hours of this game kind of finished, but I still want to have that little, like, you know, air of, you know, mystery and like the fact that it's still so crazy and all of that stuff. Okay, I thought I was about to fall off. Oh! But yeah, one thing that does just definitely feel weird is that the game is still just Breath of the Wild at the end of the day. That's still something I kind of can't get out of thinking. Like if you play Breath of the Wild very right before this game, I feel like there would be a little bit of disappointment. There'd be a little bit of, oh, it's the same game again, but like slightly different. But yeah. This person's probably going to just say fire burns things. I roasted that, but that you can have it if you want. Yeah. They made swimming cost less stamina, it feels like. Which is good, because swimming was like the worst. The thing that still annoys me is it might be that they subvert expectations from me and that there's actually a bit of stuff left. But this is what I mean, right? So you can't dodge, so you just have to like walk around the enemy. And it just feels a little weird because, you know, we're so used to doing maybe you have to have a shield to do it. You know, you can't backflip with it. So I guess they removed backflipping. Can you? Yeah, you can't even jump with it. So you can't even shield. They're like, no, too many bugs. Too many bugs ruined the game. Access denied. Search history too dark. Jesus, what was I doing with this hand?
The door will open only to those with sufficient power.
This is the other thing I kind of don't like.
I'm sorry. I did not intend
is that instead of King Roam,
It was
you
I
just
that
have
spoke to
this
you
guy
earlier.
who very obviously is linked to you because of his hands,
I am Raru.
and is a goat person, which I did not think of. Rauru. I feel like he's meant to be reminiscent of the Light Sage from Ocarina of Time.
To you in this manner. Unfortunately, I no longer have a physical form.
You're no Prince Sidon.
In any case, that arm should allow you to open its door. It seems to have lost the power to do so. You might be able to restore it, but you would need to enter a place.
I like he's literally using the hand, like the spiritual version of the hand, to be like, yes, I'm playing coy with you. I like seeing your bare chest. That's why I didn't put any shirts in with the island.
The shrines. Yes, I'm sure.
Also, the moment that they said the word shrines to me originally, I literally was like, no, no, no. But it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I feel like this point here, like, which would normally be like 20 minutes, maybe even, if you were skipping cutscenes, so 15 minutes into the game, it really does just feel like it's the game again. Like, oh, welcome to Breath... It feels like Welcome to Breath of the Wild 2 instead of Welcome to Tears of the Kingdom. Which I think was kind of a big... It was a really annoying thing for me to see. I didn't climb up here originally, so I want to do that now. Ow. Gimme. Old wooden bow. And we got arrows, so now we can do stuff. Boy howdy do I need to eat something. Okay. But I wonder, I didn't go up here. Oh, I have gone here. That's where that thing is. That makes more sense. Yeah, the world building, the like atmosphere of this game is top notch. Okay. But that's to be expected of a game that builds off of Breath of the Wild. Oh, I wanted to climb on that. But I did not. It's also weird to see these metal gratings that like there's a lot of stuff that will remind you of other stuff. It's also very weird yet again because they use a lot of the things because like it's the sequel to the game. It makes sense, and the game already feels completely different. So it's not even like, oh, they're just copying or whatever. Like they're really not. But boy howdy can it feel like it at some times. Because you just get reminded that this is definitely a Breath of the Wild game. Which just, it sound, to me personally, it sours the game a little bit. For me to keep being reminded that, like 6 years ago, Breath of the Wild released. Literally 6 years ago, Breath of the Wild released. And now we have Breath of the Wild 2, which really does feel like the same game in a lot of aspects. But it also feels like a ridiculously refined version, other than the fact that two of the most fun things to do, which is shield surfing and parrying, like the jump parrying, are no longer in the game. This is a shrine of light. Long ago I filled these places with light that purges evil, just in case someone were to lose your arm. It's weird that he's right-handed in this game, because Link is predominantly left-handed. It is really cool though to have like this completely different hand. Also, Ultra Hand, a reference to a Nintendo product. This is the Ultra Hand ability, which allows you to move objects freely and attach them to other objects. With it, you'll be able to build a great number of things. Really, you can do anything you imagine. Use Ultra Hand and receive the blessing from this shrine. This is probably the coolest ability yet. So essentially the way that this works is it's like magnesis, but for anything. And they even have a really handy, there's like a light under it. There's like a lot of really cool stuff to it. It is probably one of the most coolest puzzle things ever. And you can glue things together as well, which makes it even cooler. I think like it's unironically one of the like sickest ideas, because it's basically like a way better and way more refined version of magnesis from the original game, which was basically one of the most useful ones in the game anyway. So the fact that they bring it back and they kind of make it more useful and way more interesting is really cool. And there's another ability that you'll see later on, which is like a repeat of another ability, but like kind of different. I do like this this puzzle a lot because it's very smart in the way that it's done. Because if you see up there, you can actually see that they have basically versions of this. Oh, whoops. How did I frick this up? There we go. But yeah, like you'll see up there, they have like they show one off. This is one of the cool. I like this so much. Like it's such a cool little. Like that really just shows itself. Like that's how cool Ultra Hand can be. And later on as well, you'll also see some other things that show off how cool this ability is. It's also cool that the shrines, instead of having the Sheikah people, they have like the Zoai statue with the goddess of Hylia. We offer you this light that will cleanse you of evil. We'll purge we'll purge one of the sites that you watched in your search history off of that hand, allowing you to have a little bit more power and innocence inside you. The Legend of Zelda, the newest game where you purge your internet browser history. Best game ever. Link just looking at his hand like, how am I gonna use this? Light of Blessing, which is based like that's what I mean. Like it's like oh, it's just Breath of the Wild again. I will say that this kind of feels like a more earned version of, let's say, Spider-Man Miles Morales, where Miles Morales is literally just DLC. Let's be honest, it's just DLC. This feels like a completely different game because you're in a completely different area. There's a bunch of new... Like, the enemies is kind of like a... You could do that in a DLC. But, the fact that, like, you know, it's way bigger in scope. They're going for a completely different thing. Every single ability has been completely changed. So there is no kind of thing that there was in the original. Is also, like... You can really tell that they changed a lot in this game, which I think is really important. Yeah. And I think it's why I like this game as a, you know, sequel or like another game than I kind of enjoyed Miles Morales as a concept. Because Miles Morales, yet again, was just basically a... I don't like how that... Oh, it's only for the first time. Okay, I was going to say. Because I didn't use that the original time. Can I see any other shrines? No. Okay. But I do really like this as an ability. Okay. But yeah, so Tuesday... so Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, like how it's been going currently, will be the same as they have been before, where it would just be... Man, this could be a really good thumbnail as well. But, like, look how cool this is. Like, this feels awesome. And, like, this also here shows you what you can do. But that's like a completed thing. Okay. But I really like this, because this is a really cool idea as well. Is that you can make a bridge, essentially. I did this immediately, by the way, so... Your behavior is a threat to society at large. But yeah, like, I was just like, oh man, I can just stack these things of wood together. And little did I know. Stone axes return, by the way. You can, there's also that, which is really cool. It's like a floating platform. But, yeah. Essentially, like, there's so much. Like, this Ultra Hand ability alone is, like, so cool. And I thought for a second that, like, I would be, like, too dumb to make it work. But surprisingly, I feel like anyone could use it. It's definitely something that does require a little bit of brain power. But it's nowhere near as annoying as many other games can make their puzzles, which I think is really good. The Ultra Hand is like nothing but just good, essentially. And the fact, like, it feels very easy to use. It's not annoying, it doesn't make you feel dumb or anything like that. And it allows you to do a lot of cool puzzles, which I think is really neat. Gimme. I like how we're wearing, like, you know, straps on our feet, but we still kick things and we're still not in trouble. But boy howdy if we weren't wearing those. Can I get rupees? No, okay. Feels bad. It is sad, though, to see the random dead Zoan... I'm gonna just say Zoan, which is like a One Piece thing, but stay with me here. Actually, one thing we can do is, because we built a good enough bridge, we can actually... Ooh, Ancient Arowana. Damn, Animal Crossing would be freaking nuts. Yeah, that's the one we just went to. Wait a minute, I saw that. I love how everything I do is a threat. I am a threat, apparently. I find that very funny. But yeah, it feels really cool, and I like this as... Oh my god, you can see the game kind of tanking a little bit. But you can definitely see... there's a lot of that Breath of the Wild goodness to this game. You know, it must be over here. I swear there was something weird where it was like... Maybe it's not even here. Maybe I'm like... shooting, you know, my shot too early and trying to look cool. Maybe that's what's happening here. Ooh, there's a little quaint bridge over there. I want to see what's over there now. Exploring is the lifeblood of this game. Okay, so it's just a cute little lake area. Because yet again, in a game like this, you really don't want to just like miss out on something. And that's why playthroughs are so cool. But I really do think, yet again, like, this game and every game and Breath of the Wild, they only really start to get really crazy once you... Yeah, this is where it is. Ooh. I don't even think I got this. Okay, next one. Yeah, victory is mine. Old wooden bow, please. I know, game, I know. But yeah, it does feel like they did do a lot of the same things, which is weird, but like, it's also, you know, it is, like, it's using the same engine, which like, it's like Resident Evil 7 and 8 to a degree, where it's like, it kind of can feel the same. But obviously with 7 and 8, their tone is completely different, which is what separates them as a game. In here, there is none of that separation through tone. Also, one thing that is cool is you can just jump down and just not bother. But you can also show off that you're really cool by doing this. Which I really like. I think this is a really sick little feature. Yeah, there we go. It's always a little hard the first time you do it. There you go. Gimme. Ah, you scared me! Huh? You can see me? I'm a Korok, one of the children of the forest. I was traveling with my friend, but then we got separated. I miss my buddy. He sent a smoke signal. I'm so tired though, I can barely move. Essentially, oh, they have a bag. And honestly, it's the funniest visual in the game so far. Just the fact that you're traveling with this tiny Korok who's like, I need my friend. Boop. And then you just waggle him free and then drop him to his friend. But what if we want anarchy? I'm not that evil. I could be that evil, but I'm not that evil. There we go. You united at last. Thanks. I'd like to give you something, but this is all I have. Some shit. Bye. And then apparently we get... and then apparently the game needs to completely reset because they couldn't handle that level of graphics. Okay. Oh, I wanted to like cancel it and like jump off. But yet again, this game is so crazy that you can actually just like literally it does feel like this game is like the perfect example of mechanical knowledge where you can do so much shit with it. Like it's insane like what you can do. But it is like kind of determined on how smart you can think. Get wrecked. Like if you can think well enough, then the sky is the limit in this game. It really is. And one thing you might be saying is, huh, why are these like this? And you'll figure out very shortly by the end of this episode. Because basically I'm going to finish that little shrine as the final part of this episode. But, yeah. Okay. Okay. That's not how I made you, boat, but... This as well is just like an awesome visual. There's so many, like, if you play on pro mode with like the pro visuals, literally everything could be a screensaver. Like, that's just how beautiful this game is. It really is one of the most stunning games. And that's something that's actually, like, you know, really nice to see, is just how nice this game looks. It never feels like this game is just a rehash in some aspects. Okay, I thought for a second there. You can get clubs as well, but clubs, in my opinion, they're just way too slow. They don't feel like you can, like, use them as well as the one-handed. There was a lot of frame drops there. In Iza, the In Iza Shrine. I took a pill in Ibiza to see if the CGI was cool, but then my hand got fucked up and my browser got leaked, and now what am I gonna do? I really like this map. I really like the minimalist to it. I also like that, even though it's hard to see sometimes, the gravel at the bottom looks really nice too. So you've made it here. Now then, extend your right hand. I'm going to give the good stuff in it. I really hope that as you get your abilities back and as you get, like, your max heart up, that this starts to glow, like, more and more. I think that would be the sickest thing, would be that, like, as you play the game, like, when you have full hearts and stamina back, like, your hand becomes, like, completely green. So this allows us to attach things, and so that stone axe is actually just a wooden stick with something on it. And that's why they look like this, because they're fused. So as you can see, a wooden stick plus stone. And they want you to use a claymore. I really wouldn't. But as you can see, boom. And we can also, like, do like this. We now have a shield. Whoops. We now have a shield that's a rock. We have a rock shield. Could you imagine getting hit in the face by a rock? Jesus. They're really useful. It's annoying. They actually are very useful to have. So I do think I'll make another one. Essentially, instead of having bombs like in the original, you can just break things with I didn't even see that. Can't I just do this though? Can't I just Ultra Hand? Okay. They seem to have made it Ultra Hand non-compatible. That's fair enough, I guess. 5 more arrows. And that's for this. And this is one of the coolest things in my opinion. So fire fruit infuse your attack, specifically more so with arrows. In this case at least. With a fire aspect. Which is so cool. And it really does make you feel way more interesting. The one thing about the HUD though is if you don't play this for the first time without the HUD, because then you won't know how to do stuff like I'm doing. But yeah, really cool innovation. But it does kind of make it feel like weapons aren't as special now, because I haven't found like a fire aspect weapon or anything. So it does feel like it might be like it would be cool if for bows, this is what replaces the ice arrow and all of that stuff, because buying those arrows was really annoying. And I think we can all agree with that. Like, it was kind of tedious and annoying to have to do that. But, I still want there to be, like, fire weapons and stuff, because it would be really sad to lose those. But, this one is, like, extremely sick. This enemy is, like, really cool. Basically, they can fuse things, but we can also fuse things of our own as well. And... oops. Meant to do 3 for 3, but I didn't. Give me that. Construct bow. Construct horn 1. Which gives us more damage on a weapon. But basically, like, you can make spears, it feels like. If you, like, equip this, and then you hold this, whoops, and then if you hold this, and then you drop it, and then you use your fuse, and then fuse it with the stick, you know, you don't have a thing, but, like, it looks cool, right? Like, it's like you're making your own weapons. And now we have a Captain 1 Reaver. Like, how cool is that? And then, obviously, at some point, you'll be able to get steel, which will make the first parts bigger. And it really does feel interesting because of that. That there are these, like, really cool and innovative things you can do. You've done well to reach this place. Now you're going to have your face get hit. We offer you the light that will cleanse you of evil. I thought of face and evil, and I was like linking the faces of evil. I keep feeling like it's gonna do like a massive like beam of energy to me, but it's always just a small little ball, and then I'm like, oh yeah, right. Another website purged from our internet browser history. I do really like that it's literally purging part of the evil away. It really feels like Princess Mononosuke with like the blight that affects the creatures. May the light of blessing grant you the strength you seek. And that's this shrine done. I think they do a really good job. There are like 4 shrines on the main area that you start on. I think they pace them out wonderfully. Link. I came because there's something I failed to give you. Please, take it. It's a butt plug. It's a bit spiky, but I think you'll like it. We've got the energy cell, which allows you to power Zonai devices. Which is basically, it's just like a portable battery. But I think in the next episode, we will be able to demonstrate how it works. And that will be coming out the day after you'll be watching this. So I hope you really enjoy, and I hope you've been enjoying The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.